Brodie, finally, any sort of insider tips maybe on something else that they could do to prepare for an interview with you guys specifically?
Well, with us specifically, I'm pretty happy to have a conversation around what we look for, and we have a standardised interview process, so everyone's assessed on an equal playing field. We expect you to have an understanding of who we are as an organisation and to have done your research on us, not so much us as individuals, but on our organisation. And we also encourage our applicants to use behavioural-based questions, or we use behavioural-based questions and expect answers based on them, so which is your S.T.A.R principles: situation, task, actions, result. And that's an interview process that's used in a lot of ambulance services and ourselves and corporate sort of areas, but it helps you pull apart the question that you've been asked to get a proper response that actually answers the question, because all of us, when we're nervous, we ramble a little bit. So using that S.T.A.R principle for your responses in an interview question actually gives you the best ability to answer the question, be succinct in your response, and get sort of maximum points. So whilst some people blow us out of the water, we still have a standardised process, so everyone's fair. It's fair and an equitable process. But if you use those basic principles, there's a fairly high likelihood that you will score well. And we assess over multiple different avenues. So our major recruitment drives will have a practical assessment, a written assessment, a group assessment, and a panel interview. So you've got opportunities to gain points across all of those different areas of our recruitment. So if you're weak in one area but you're strong in others, it doesn't ruin your chance of a job with us.
Okay, so those points, the S.T.A.R methodology, can you just dumb those down so even someone like me can understand those points?
Yep. Some behavioural-based interview questions look at, past behaviour is a good indicator of future behaviour. So you might have a question like, tell me a time that you've managed conflict in the workplace. And most of us sit there and go, righto, I've got to try and think of an example. And you'll sort of regurgitate this example, but you may not get to the point about how you actually manage this conflict. You'll probably tell us a long-winded story of a colleague that you may not have gotten along with, you may have been frustrated with, and never really got the answer. But using the S.T.A.R principle, you can tell us the situation, that what actually happened, what the tasks were that you had to do, and what actions you made to actually mitigate the problem and to address the issue or the conflict, and then what the result or what the outcome actually was. So you've got a tangible response to your question. If you're not already studying for behavioural-based questions now, you need to start doing it, because for all of your students and graduates, organisations are using this in their interviews. Whether they're kind enough to tell you or not, it's a different story. We're always open and transparent about it. We often give an information sheet prior to the recruitment drive or the interview around what behavioural-based interviews are like. Not all of our interview questions are behavioural-based, but some of them are. And we usually tell our applicants the next 3 questions are behavioural-based interviews. We encourage you to use the S.T.A.R principle in answering the question. And we often have it written up, the S.T.A.R principle written up on our whiteboard or in the room as well. So they've got a bit of a prompt, because we want to see our applicants succeed. We're not there to trip people up. We want to give them a platform for success as well.
Awesome. And that might be something, knowing that now, that behavioural-based questioning with the S.T.A.R acronym, that might be something that people could practice with a friend or a partner or whatever before they go Absolutely. To an interview, because no doubt it's a technique that's used across the workforce.
Yeah, it is, and ambulance services use it. Almost every ambulance service that I know of are using behavioural-based questions in their recruitment strategies. And if you're using your diploma or your Cert 3 or your Cert 4 as a stepping stone to a degree and a job in an ambulance service, you may as well get started now with it, because you're going to be asked behavioural-based questions at some point throughout your career.
Awesome, mate. Well, that is really, really helpful. I know I learned something, and I know the students are going to get a lot of value out of that. Thanks again for your time, Brodie, and all the best.
Anytime.
Yeah, all the best managing the changes and challenges that you're facing right now. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Ben. Anytime. Take care.